It's that time of year again, Christmas! Although, don't be too impressed by the fancy sweater, I'm not wearing pants. Christmas is an incredible time of year. Everything is lit up and pretty and kindness is in the air. But more important than that is sometimes magical things happen. Things that are unexplained. Things that some people would call miracles. Here are 10 incredible Christmas miracles that changed lives forever. Number 10 is Daisy is found. In April of 2006, Vonda Ludstrom's pet dog, a 12-pound rat terrier named Daisy, escaped from her Aurora, Colorado home by digging a hole under her fence. Lundstrom spent months searching for her 2-year-old best friend, but came up empty. Then, on Christmas night, over 8 months later, Daisy walked along the street in front of Tracy Crass, who took the dog in and called the number on one of Daisy's tags. That put her in touch with a veterinarian who promptly put her in touch with Lundstrom. Now this would just be your everyday Christmas story if not for the fact that Crass lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, 2,092 kilometers from Lundstrom's home. Daisy was flown to Denver International Airport and reunited with Vonda, the best Christmas present either had ever received. Number 9 is a Christmas pileup. Christmas time can be pretty crazy, especially when you consider that millions of people are trying to get to a friend or family member's house in time to open presents together. Now, traffic accidents, unfortunately, are super common in those situations, but add in some freezing rain and you've got a recipe for a holiday disaster. And that's exactly what happened just outside of Oklahoma City in the early hours of Christmas Day in 2012. Slick roads and hurrying drivers wound up causing a 21-car pileup on Interstate 40, which totaled not only several cars involved, but it also caused a transport truck to jackknife. As emergency workers and paramedics rushed to the scene, which was declared a major accident, they expected to be pulling bodies out of vehicles and locating severed limbs. Now yes, that sounds disturbing, but in a Christmas miracle, every single person in that accident walked away without serious injury. Something tells me every single one of them is going to be drinking a whole lot of rum and eggnog. Yeah, I almost died tonight. Let's celebrate. Number 8 is the SS Meredith Victory. On December 21st, 1950, the Korean War was about to enter its 7th month, and thousands of refugees were gathering in the port city of Hungnam with the hopes of escaping. Leonard LaRue, captain of the SS Meredith Victory, a U.S. freighter, decided that human lives were worth more than his cargo and ordered all of the supplies and weapons on board to be unloaded. The Meredith Victory was built to house 59 people, 35 crew members, 12 passengers, and 12 officers. But by December 23rd, over 14,000 Korean refugees had boarded. The ship then navigated mine-filled waters without any weapons. The people on board were so packed, none of them could even sit down. But unbelievably, they reached Kojay Island on Christmas Day, miraculously without losing a single passenger, and even gaining more as 5 babies were born on the trip. Oh yeah, short ribs and pork belly for everybody. They must have been hungry. Number 7 is the Miracle Baby. On Christmas Day 2012, 21-year-old Ilkeston, Nottinghamshire, England resident Leanne Carter began experiencing severe stomach pain. It became so bad that she decided to skip the morning festivities and head straight to the hospital. It was there that doctors realized that, to Leanne's utter surprise, she was about to give birth. What do you mean, like a food baby? At 8 a.m., Joseph was born to a mother that had no idea just hours before that he even existed. But what makes this story truly miraculous is that Carter showed absolutely no signs of being pregnant until the day her son was born. She had no sickness in her first trimester, she did not get overly big at all, and continued having her period as normal and didn't even feel Joseph move inside her once. Still, the new mother took the birth as a miracle and the best Christmas present ever. Well, that's exciting, except somebody's gonna have to cancel their vacation plans for the new year, but hey, happy for you. Number 6 is the Hatbox Baby. On the evening of Christmas Eve 1931, Julia and Ed Stewart were driving through a desert near Florence, Arizona, when around 8 p.m. their car broke down. As Ed worked on fixing it, Julia took a stroll around the area only to hear a whimpering coming from a lady's hat box that sat mysteriously just 46 meters from the car. Inside, to the couple's complete shock, was a 7-day-old baby girl wrapped up in a blue blanket. Once Ed had their vehicle repaired, the Stewarts rushed the newborn to the Mesa, Arizona police station, where the girl was brought to a maternity home. The baby, who would later be named Sharon, was healthy, something that would not have been true if the Stewarts' car hadn't broken down exactly in the place where it did. Yeah, that's right. Let that be a lesson to the rest of you. If your car ever breaks down, make sure you scan the area for baby boxes, and then move along with changing the tire, whatever you gotta do. Number 5 is Alcides Wakes Up. On the morning of December 7th, 2007, 37-year-old Alcides Marino and his 30-year-old brother Edgar were washing windows at Solo Tower in New York. They had just reached the 47th floor when the platform that they were standing on broke. Both men plunged over 152 meters to the pavement below. Sadly, Edgar died on impact, but Alcides somehow survived. After 24 units of blood, 19 units of plasma, and a total of 10 surgeries, the first of which required his chest being opened in the emergency room, Alcides was placed in recovery, but doctors told his wife Rosario that he was unlikely to recover. But in what can only be described as a miracle on Christmas Day, Alcides woke up and spoke, to the absolute shock of his doctors and the nurses. He made a full recovery and now can even run marathons. This story's beautiful, but it also reinforced my fear of heights. So, take the good with the bad. Number 4 is Marco Walks. In mid-December of 2008, Sandra Dutschak was facing a Christmas with her son Marco, either in a hospital or confined to a wheelchair, which he'd need the rest of his life. While growing up in central Austria, Marco had developed a cyst on his spinal cord, which grew rapidly until it had taken up most of it. When doctors surgically removed the mass, they realized what was left of the 7-year-old boy's spinal cord was only about as thick as a thread. Sadly, they told Sandra that her son would never walk again, which is terrible news to get at any time, let alone just before Christmas. But then, less than a week before December 25th, Sandra walked into the hospital to find Marco literally pacing on the room's balcony. His recovery baffled his doctors, and when he was able to go home and open his Christmas presents, everyone knew a miracle had happened. Number 3 is the Snowbank Discovery. On December 19th, 2008, 55-year-old Donna Molnar, a high school secretary living in Ancaster, Ontario, left her home telling her husband David that she was going out for baking supplies. While parked in the market's lot, Donna took several sleeping pills and walked out into a field in hopes that the minus 15 degrees Celsius temperature and growing snowstorm would end her life. Now, luckily for her family, she was found over 72 hours later, buried in over 60 centimeters of snow, but very much to everyone's surprise, alive. Search and rescue experts and Molnar's doctors agreed that her body being able to withstand that type of ordeal was nothing short of a miracle. David and the couple's son Matthew had to spend Christmas in the hospital, but they got to spend it with a very alive Donna. Number 2 is a woman and baby come back to life. On December 24th, 2009, 33-year-old Tracy Hermansdorfer was in a delivery room at Memorial Health System in Colorado Springs, Colorado, with her husband Mike, the pair waiting on their third son to be born. Suddenly, disaster struck as Tracy suffered cardiac arrest and went limp. Doctors spent 4 minutes attempting to revive her, but were not successful. Around 4 minutes of being inside a deceased mother, an infant's chances of suffering suffering brain damage skyrocket, so they quickly performed a C-section only to find the newborn Colton barely alive. Mike Hermanstorfer was suddenly faced with losing his wife and son, when miraculously both mother and baby began breathing on their own. To this day, doctors only have loose theories as to why Tracy's heart restarted itself. And number 1 is the Christmas Truce. On Christmas Eve, 1914, amidst the bloody landscape that was World War I, a very unauthorized truce was formed between the French and British soldiers and the Germans that they fought with, when the Germans began decorating their occupied side of Ypres, a municipality in Belgium, and calling out season's greetings. During the ceasefire, nearly 100,000 soldiers along the Western Front laid down their weapons and ventured into no man's land, the bullet body riddled ground between the trenches. It was there that they sang Christmas carols, exchanged small gifts and stories, and drank together as if they were old friends. Though many wanted the truce to be the end of the war, it wasn't long before both sides were at arms again. Still though, for a brief moment, the miracles of both Christmas and humanity shined through. So that was 10 incredible Christmas miracles that changed lives forever. And if you guys enjoyed this, remember to give it a big thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications by clicking the little bell beside the subscribe button so that you never miss a thing, because I release new videos all the time. Thank you guys for watching. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, all the above, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!